Miss me? When I was in college, I dated this guy, and we dated for a long, long time, like a whole 2 weeks. And one day, out of the blue, like I didn't expect it, he was just like, you know what, Dami? Yeah, that's my first name. Don't call me that. He said, this is not going to work out. And I was like, say what? He said, yeah, this is not going to work out. You know what I'm looking for. You're a little bit too needy. Something, 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 something. So, you know what I told him? This is what I said. Now that you're out of my life, I'm so much better. You thought that I'll be weak without you, but I'm stronger. Broke without you, but I'm richer. You thought that I'll be sad without you. I laugh harder. Now I'm on top, but I won't stop. Oh, just kidding. Wrong lyrics. Hey. So 9 million, I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I will survive. Keep on surviving. Hey. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I will survive. Keep on surviving. Oh, that's what I told him. So for me, that song Survivor by Destiny's Child inspired me to move on with my life, right? I'm a survivor, I'm strong, I'm bold, like I can do whatever it is that I want to do. I want you to turn to your table and ask them 3 questions. Do you listen to music? If so, what do you enjoy about it? What types of music do you enjoy and why? And lastly, do you think that music can inspire you to change a behavior? Teachers, the questions that I just called out, or the questions that I just read out, will be on the next slide. So take a moment to pause the video when you see the slide. All students should have had an opportunity to share with their table groups the songs that they like, do they believe music can inspire change, etc. Teachers, on the next slides, you'll see the objectives. When you see the slide, please pause the video and have students read the objective out loud. These objectives will be the objectives that we'll be discussing for this week and also next week. Please pause the video at this time. Change is not easy, and sometimes changing can make people in different situations uncomfortable. But I believe that change in society, in our school, in our community is necessary in order for us to grow and be the productive citizens that we can all be. I want to know, how do you believe that we can go about changing our school, changing our community, and changing our society? Do you believe that music has a role in the change that we want to see or the change that we want to be present in our world? And lastly, how do you think music can go about helping in this way? Teachers, pause the video at this time and have a class discussion about the questions that I just posed. The slides, the next slide will have, I'm messing it all up. The next slide you see will have the 3 questions for you guys to discuss as a class. Now you're going to read an article as a class called The Other Education by David Brooks. This article is talking about a guy, I'm assuming the author David, how he went through elementary school, high school, middle school, and got to college and realized there was a second education. And that education was when he turned on the radio station and he heard a famous composer playing some type of song or concert. So he goes on through the article talking about his experience, but at the end of the article, he summarizes it by saying that many people put emphasis on the first education being like the formal school one, and not so much on the second education, how he calls it, which is he means music. So I want you as a class to read the articles. The articles is a total of 6 slides. Teachers, you can choose to read all 6 slides to your class. You can have students take turns to read a slide. You can have them popcorn read, however you think is best for your students. I'm not quite certain what reading levels each student will be on, but I'm definitely certain that every student will grasp the understanding at the end. At the end of reading the article, you'll come to a slide that'll say article discussion. There are a total of 7 questions that I want you to discuss as a class. After the discussion, feel free to move on with the video. Teachers, if students have been engaging properly and answering the questions and having discussions with their tables and with their class, at this time should almost be up. So I'm going to pause the video, and this is the end of part 1 of this lesson, Sounds of Change. And part 2, I will be definitely giving it to you next Friday, December the 8th. But before I leave, I just want to leave you with one quick thing. Won't stop. Even in my years to come, I'm still gonna be here. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. Peace. See you next week.